And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin. It's raining outside, isn't it?
That's right. It's wet.
We got some wet stuff on streets. Now, as wonderful it is, I want to remind you to be more than careful this morning because we haven't had rain in so long. So this is going to make the streets even a little bit more than it is dangerous normally, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be slick. Approach red lights and stop signs with caution. Don't go as fast because you will go into a skid, and we don't need any wrecks this morning. How are you? I do hope good. It is Friday, November the 10th, which means tomorrow is going to be Veterans Day. Now, we should have a Veterans Day program beginning at parade at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Should the weather hold out, we'll let you know if anything changes on that in the program at 10:30 tomorrow. We got all of that information lined up this morning beginning at 7, so you'll be aware of what's going on. Southeast has got a big program today. If you are a veteran, I invite you to go by and see them this morning at 9:30 at Southeast there at the gym. We got details on that as well. We'll tell you more about that as we get this morning underway. So here we are. We're sitting at 64 today. That's the high for today. Did I mention that? Not going to get any warmer than it is. So we'll have these kind of 60s for a few days. Nothing cold, but wet stuff, possibly for a week. Details on all of that on the way this morning also here in just a few moments as we get into this and start this day together. So many of you are up and at 'em today. I'm getting my ducks in a row here from Conahatta. Mark, how are you doing? Happy Friday, Bree says. From Philadelphia, we have Miss Charlotte joining us. Stevie. To Corey, how are you doing? Miss Beck. Oh, Beth Vick says her birthday is tomorrow. How old are you going to be, Beth? We'd like to know. Wish you a big one. That's impolite, isn't it, Odie? You're not supposed to ask a lady how old she is.
I think it's changed.
It's changing?
Yeah, they
Okay.
can lie, though.
You could tell a fib. What do they call it? A little white lie? I don't know where that saying come from, but it's amazing how those little sayings become part of it. We've got everything lined up for you this morning at 7 of what went on over the last 24 hours, some happy times and some sad times as well. We've got all that. Let's go to Collinsville now, the First Baptist Church. Brother Ben joins us this morning.
From 2008 to 2014, I had the joy of serving as pastor of a Baptist church in the Middle Tennessee town of Alexandria, which is about 50 miles east of Nashville. Now, Alexandria doesn't have a lot of people, but it's filled with great people. Of course, we weren't the only church in town. There were several, but the Church of God there in Alexandria had a sign that I've never forgotten. In fact, they still have it. It's one of those old marquee-style signs, and above the marquee was permanently painted, Church of God. Friendly? Question mark. Yes! Exclamation point. Honestly, I don't know if they were friendly or not, but they sure wanted to communicate that they are. But you know, friendliness is something that we as Christians are called to. While the world may see this as weakness and scheme to take advantage of it from time to time, Scripture says that it's not weakness, but rather being Christ-like. The Holy Spirit tells us in Romans 14 to welcome one another as Christ has welcomed us for the glory of God. We should seek to be welcoming. We should seek to be warm. We should seek to live in harmony. We should seek to make a place for people and include them, especially those desiring to follow Christ. There should be a sign over every one of our church doors that says, "You are welcome here." Better yet, don't put it on a sign. Instead, be the type of people whose lives declare this welcoming heart and friendly disposition. Welcome others in Christ as Christ has welcomed you. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, Mouty Cabinetry, and Parker Marketing Insurance Advisors. Hopefully, each and every day you get a little message of that. A big thank you to Collinsville First Baptist Church for teaming with us. We've been doing that for over a year now. Great folks. If you need a church, they'll be there bright and early Sunday morning there in Collinsville. They would love to have you as a guest. I'm going to blame Odie because there's no one else in the room this morning. We don't have a big studio audience, so I got to do it. How things get stuck in your head. I was listening to my songs as we got everything ready today, and I had Tanya Tucker on. Y'all remember that. What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? Odie walked out and said, "You ever heard this?" And he scratched his head, so we played a little bit more of it. And Odie made a comment there of it had a meaning. And it did. If you've never listened to that song, it's about an old man a guy that comes to town, and he asks a little girl, "What's your mama's name?" He offered her a bag of candy if she'd tell him. Well, the guy's arrested and put in jail. As he gets older and dies and the county has to pay for him, in his pocket at the end of the song, they find an old faded letter from a woman that said, hey, you've got a daughter, and her eyes are Wilson green. And that's why he asked the little girl who her mama was. Huh, had a meaning there. What happened to country music? Not getting on a soapbox this week, but boy, that song just sticks in your head. If you hadn't heard that in a long time, go back and watch that. From Union, Miss Kathy Sharp. How in the world are you doing today? So good to see you again there. Ramit from DeKalb, if I pronounce that right. R-A-M-M-I-T, Ramit. DeKalb, Mississippi. Things have changed in DeKalb since they took away the red light. All I got to say. As a kid, it was fun there. Many, many moons ago. From Clarkdale, Miss Cindy Pickett joins us. As we look at headlines across America, we go to Japan. They've got an extra island all of a sudden. Well, how could that be? A volcano erupted. Well, it's built up. But they say, don't worry, the waves are washing it away. After it formed and blew, it's starting to go down after the ocean's hitting it. So it'll disappear in a few days. Thought y'all might want to know that. Puerto Rico, as we look to, there's always something happening somewhere close. 900 have been hospitalized for flu this year. I certainly hope that doesn't jump to the States and everybody's walking around with handkerchiefs and coughing for the rest of the year. But 900 cases, that's pretty strong. I don't know how many it is nationwide across the states that get it every year. But it is probably one of the worst things. I mean, the man cold is absolutely horrible. It's worse than anything that can happen to anyone. We all know that. Can't stand to get them. As we look at a NPR, you've gone to that on the radio dial, and they all have that monotone voice and don't go up or down. It's all just flatlining. A reporter for them has been awarded $700,000. Why? She was at a protest, interviewing it, filming it. She was thrown to the ground and arrested in L.A. She sued, she won. She kept going on the press, and they treated her as if she was a demonstrator and slammed her and cuffed her and stuffed her. She won in court. $700,000. I guess the attorney gets half of that, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, at least half.
Yeah, so in the end, she may end up with $200,000. Sounds big, but it's not. But the taxpayer at the end is the one who gets...
The lawyer's the big winner.
Yeah, the lawyer is the big winner in that. That happened, so you'd know. This is amazing. That didn't really work, but it's parts of it did. And you go, well, why would you even bring up a story that didn't work out and parts of it may have worked? It's the first time this has happened in history, and it's the beginning of something good coming for somebody that's lost an eye. It was a veteran that lost his eye in an accident. They did a 24-hour surgery earlier this year to replace his eyeball. It was given to him by a donor, and they even took portions of the face and put in. The eyeball works. He can't see out of it. It's not getting proper blood to it. But it is the beginning stages of being able for somebody who has lost their eyesight totally, that they'll soon be able to correct this and the blind will see. Again, it's the early stages of this, but it's a major step toward that. Can you imagine going through a 23-hour surgery? Even for the doctors, how that would be. It was unreal, the amount of surgeons that were involved in it. But as with anything else, eventually this will get better. They're on the right track. Can you imagine being able to see for the first time in your life that you've never been? Somebody asked Ronnie Millsap one time if he wanted to see it. He said no. He likes the world the way he sees it now. I like Ronnie. Always a good fella. Yeah. He knows where things are. The sounds they're hearing has to be incredible. But being able to see and having it taken away is probably...
Gotta be the worst.
Bless him. So technology being used for a good thing is where I'm going with that. I don't know who Jared Leto is, L-E-T-O. Does anybody know him? Singer, actor? He scaled the Empire State Building, or at least a portion of it, to the top to promote an upcoming tour. Yeah. He said it was on his bucket list. The name of his band, the name of the world tour is 32nd to Mars. It'll run from March through September. I don't know him, but I'm not climbing no building either. But just so you'll know that. You've heard this name before, Steve Bannon. He is back before a judge. He is trying to have it overturned, the conviction from January 6th. We wish him luck. I don't think anybody will be getting out of any of that unless the presidency changed. They all have a list. Y'all know where I'm going with that. Do you remember the big brawl that happened in Alabama there at the dock? It was a huge fight. One side had been arrested. Now the other boat captain is being charged. We'll see what becomes of that. He's accused of assault. Don't know if anything will happen to that. The IRS is sharpening their pencils, and they announce a new income tax bracket for 2024. If you're watching and you have a tax accountant, you might want to get in touch with them. Things are going up and adjustments all across. I could not be an accountant. Let me tell you, things change too much with the federal government. You got to be on your tiptoes to make sure everybody's taxes are correct. So changes in that. Make sure to talk with your tax accountant so you'll know what's going to be coming next year. Always changes what you can do and can't. Do you remember, and I remember it so vividly, not long ago, it was recruits for LAPD that were running or jogging down the road. And a car runs off the road and hits them all. Do y'all remember that? One died. 10 or 12 of them were seriously injured. They've charged the person that did that 12 years in jail. Now, I can't say. What the unknown is, was it an accident or did they do it on purpose? It seems like I had heard rumor that it was on purpose. I'd have to go back and read all the details to get to that. But 12 years, someone lost their life. Horrible. Think of the family members in that. A Super Bowl champion has passed away at 41. Colts is where he played. Anybody know Matt Ulrich? He has passed away at the early age of 41. Cause of death has not been disclosed. 41, that's mighty young to be passing away. Big old boy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get the remaining information on that. We'll save that story coming up there. I'm going to try to pronounce this right because we've all practiced this together, and sometimes I don't say it right. Netanyahu. Did I get it?
You got it.
Netanyahu says that a ceasefire is not an option. He will not pause. He will not waver. He will win. I have to agree with that.
He's giving them a few hours a day for humanitarian
Yeah, a
reasons.
couple hours a day for humanitarian reasons.
That's only in a certain area. He's not stopping.
They done the awful, and I've got pictures of this, and I'm going to shock you on this. I'll have to dig this up later today, but I got it sent to me in the middle of the night. There's protest against Israel in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm not lying. I've got the stuff on my phone. I just haven't had a chance to go through it and read it. But protest against Israel in Mississippi. Wow. We'll go into that sometime next week after I have to digest what it says, so I totally understand, because I never want to say anything wrong of who, what, and how. But Jackson, Mississippi, protesting Israel. My, oh, my, oh, my. Stay close. We're going to come back and do a radar update to let you see what's happening with the rain, where it is this morning, and how your day is going to turn out. Don't forget your umbrella. And if you're missing an umbrella, get you a garbage bag. Everybody's used something that didn't have an umbrella. We'll be right back with that forecast as we begin our day together. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Welcome back. Lori tells us all the way from Sebastopol, go Bobcats. I guess it's going to be a big rain there, light rain. in Sebastopol this morning. Work on that hair, girl, before you leave. I know you will. Make sure it looks good. I'm pulling for you now. So is your husband. Good morning to so many of you joining us. We appreciate you. Let's look at radar now is what we've got popping across this. We do have some fog there in Fort Smith, Arkansas, as we get closer into Mississippi. This is the rain that we're looking at. The Jackson area covered in it. If you've got to travel I-20 west out of Meridian, you're going to get into rain. If you're traveling toward Utah, Tuscaloosa, you will as well. We zoom in on this a little bit further there. The northern portion, just for a few moments, is rain-free there in the Philadelphia area northward up 15 toward Louisville. Now, Kemper County, Scuba, and most places are wet. Only a little bit there if you're traveling up 493 and 495. On the Lauderdale side are going to be just a sprinkle. We've got it covering over downtown Meridian from the southeast corner to the northeast corner there. Lauderdale, Mississippi, wet this morning. Clark County, you'll be getting your fair share. Butler getting some rain as well. All of this is much needed. And as you look at this, you'll see there's nothing heavy. We got a little bit heavier there moving south of Natchez, but nothing big or is on the way there. It's going to be a steady rain, what we need there. We show lots of fog. Look at that down here. Apalachicola, Florida. Look at that. Valdosta, Georgia, Brunswick, those areas there. And a little bit around Gadsden, Alabama this morning. And Auburn has a little bit of fog. So if you're in those areas, be careful this morning. But nothing horrendous, just a light rain, which again will cause those accidents. So we want you to be more than careful this morning as you head out and do your thing. That's the way we want to put that. All right, let's see here. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome from LaPlace, Louisiana, if I pronounced that correctly. Jeff Lewis, morning to you there. We see that back in 02, our high today was 84. We're going to be 20 degrees off of that. 64 our high for today. As we look for our low, it was 1991. It was a cold day. It was 24 degrees. Everybody was warming up their cars. Bad morning there. As we look across, what else is going to happen today? Rain. Well, we've got a little 3 to 4 difference in radars of what is being said with the high is 64 to 68. National Weather Service put out this morning at 4:45 that it would be 64. My radar system saying a little warmer than that, but Philadelphia 64, 63 in Columbus, even a little bit of a 50 there in Eupora. But back over to the Mississippi Delta, 62, 61, and we'll even see warmer weather south of the Meridian area around Laurel, Hattiesburg area there. Something to watch. As we go east into Bamaland, 64 in Demopolis. Same thing there goes for the Birmingham area, 63 to 64. As we look at what's happening, that's warmer weather there, isn't it? We've got it. No cool fronts except way out in California, nowhere near us. As we look at the 7-day forecast, 64, 59 tomorrow. So some 50-degree weather there, but 80% chance of rain forecast, and we do have a parade lined up if it can make it. We'll keep you updated on that. We've got 63 on Sunday as we head off to church. Still a 50% chance of showers there, and rain chances at least through Wednesday. And I guess you have to count it to be wording it correctly of a 7-day adventure. There is a 10% chance of rain there on Thursday as well. As we go another week into this, all the way through November the 24th, we'll get some mid-70s and then drop down to the 60s and hold kind of steady there with highs 74 at most and nighttime lows into the 40s. Nothing drastic, but we do have rain chances every day for about 2 weeks. Nothing big, but again, we need this. We got to get it to where if a fire breaks out that nothing bad happens. Boy, and there's been a lot of it. I know that a lot of folks worked hard in Newton County last night also. As we look at our best times to fish this Friday, we go to Chet's Paint and Body, and Chet tells us, be on the bank there if you can handle the rain there at 8:30 this morning to about 10:30 if you can fish in the rain. No lightning is expected, so it'd be okay, I believe. Our wind's going to be north-northeast wind 5 to 10. A little bit of a breeze there, so fish with the wind right. As we look at our hunting forecast as we go out to Collinsville Meets, it looks like more 9 o'clock will be the best time, 9 to 11 if you're going to be in a stand. Bow hunting, kids, however that works out for you. Then again, northwest wind 5 to 10. A quick look at the forecast and what we've got this morning. Headlines, boy, oh boy, oh boy. We'll tell you all about Meridian, and we'll give you a hint of one of the big stories this morning. What costs $50 million and has rats? Ooh, we've got details on that coming up at 7 o'clock this morning. I kid you not. $50 million. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that. I've been getting a lot of info about this over the last 3 to 4 days or a week or so. We'll tell you the answer to that coming up at 7. Won't you join us? I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Odie will be joining me as we bring you the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.